I was lying in bed, lost in my thoughts after a long day, when my husband entered the room, his eyes sparkling with an unfamiliar energy. He sat beside me, gently stroking my arm before leaning in to kiss me. There was something different about the night. It wasn't part of our usual routine, and I could sense it immediately. Our connection, both emotional and physical, had always been strong, allowing me to recognize when something was on his mind. But tonight, there was more to it, a distinct excitement I couldn't quite place. His kiss sent a shiver down my spine, and as he pulled back, he murmured in my ear, "I have something special planned for us tonight." His words piqued my curiosity, and I smiled, eager to know what he had in mind. Over the years, we had kept our relationship vibrant by exploring new experiences together, but the tone in his voice suggested this would be different. A mixture of excitement and nervousness flickered in his eyes as he stood up and reached for his phone, quickly typing a message. I watched him, intrigued but trusting, confident that whatever he had planned would be worth it. Moments later, a knock at the door broke the silence, and my heart raced with anticipation. My husband walked over and opened it, revealing his best friend standing there with a warm smile. I felt a wave of confusion. Why was his friend here so late? His best friend, whom I had known for years, stepped inside. The exchange of glances between the two of them made the situation instantly clear, though it still felt surreal. My thoughts raced as I struggled to process what was happening. Was this really unfolding before my eyes? My husband turned to me with a playful grin, walking over to take my hand and gently pull me out of bed. His touch was reassuring, even as my heart pounded in anticipation. "We've talked about trying something different," he said softly, searching my face for any sign of unease. I nodded slowly, recalling our past conversations about exploring new possibilities in our intimate life. Those talks had always felt like distant fantasies, fun to imagine, but never something we'd act on. Yet now, standing in the room with his best friend, the fantasy was becoming reality. The shift from imagination to actuality was both thrilling and intimidating. My cheeks flushed as I glanced between them, my body reacting in ways I hadn't expected. Taking a deep breath, I realized I wasn't afraid. I trusted my husband more than anyone, and if this was something he truly wanted to explore, I was willing to follow him. I gave him a small, nervous smile, and that was all the encouragement he needed. He kissed me deeply, his passion melting away my hesitation. His friend moved closer, tentatively at first, his touch light and exploratory. It was strange to feel someone else's hands on me while my husband watched, but the initial awkwardness quickly transformed into excitement. The boundaries of our everyday life dissolved, replaced by this extraordinary experience. My senses heightened, every kiss and touch feeling electric and vivid. The night unfolded in ways I could never have anticipated. At times, I couldn't distinguish where one touch ended and another began, losing myself completely in the intensity of the moment. My husband's friend was careful and respectful, frequently checking in to ensure we were all comfortable. My husband, meanwhile, watched me intently, his eyes filled with love and desire. His gaze made me feel cherished in a way I'd never experienced before. Knowing he was enjoying the moment as much as I was fueled my own excitement and deepened my connection to him. This wasn't just about physical pleasure, it was about trust, pushing boundaries, and sharing a new and exhilarating experience as a couple. I felt closer to him in those moments than ever before, even as we welcomed someone else into our intimacy. As the night went on, we explored each other in ways that felt both familiar and new. There was no jealousy, no discomfort, only a profound sense of connection and joy. It was clear my husband had planned everything thoughtfully, ensuring I felt loved and secure throughout. His friend, too, was patient and mindful, never crossing any boundaries we hadn't implicitly set. When it was over, we lay together, tangled in sheets and limbs, exhausted but exhilarated. My husband kissed me gently, his eyes glowing with affection and fulfillment. "How do you feel?" he asked softly, brushing a strand of hair from my face. Smiling up at him, a rush of emotions, love, gratitude, and joy washed over me. "I feel amazing," I whispered, and I meant it. It wasn't just the physical experience. It was the knowledge that we had embarked on this journey together, sharing something deeply personal and emerging stronger as a couple. His friend left shortly after, leaving the two of us alone. We cuddled close, my head resting on his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. In his arms, I felt completely safe, loved, and at peace. This night was more than just a thrilling experience. It was a testament to our bond, a reminder of the strength and trust in our relationship. It was a reflection of the strength in our relationship, built on years of trust and love. In the days following that night, we didn't speak much about what had happened, yet there was a fresh spark between us, an unspoken understanding that we had crossed a new milestone together. Our bond, already strong, now felt even deeper and more unshakable. We had shared an experience few couples ever do, and it had only strengthened us. Looking back, I still marvel at how that evening unfolded. It was unexpected, thrilling, and deeply intimate in ways I never anticipated. More than anything, it reminded me how vital trust, communication, and openness are in a relationship. My husband and I had always been good at discussing our needs and desires, and this experience was a direct result of that transparency. If I've learned one thing from that night, it's that love and intimacy can take many forms, and sometimes the most surprising experiences bring you closer to the one you love. That night is unforgettable, not just for what happened, but for what it symbolized. The strength of our connection, the depth of our trust, and the boundless possibilities that arise when two people truly understand and care for one another. As I sit here reflecting on that evening, I feel immense gratitude for my husband, for his love and the way he continues to surprise me, even after all these years. Our relationship has never been stronger, and I'm confident that no matter what the future holds, we'll face it together as we always have. For anyone wondering if an experience like this could bring them closer to their partner, all I can say is trust each other, communicate openly, and never shy away from exploring together. You might find that it strengthens your relationship in ways you never imagined. In the days after that unforgettable night, the memory lingered in my mind like a precious secret. My husband and I went about our routines, but something had shifted. An unspoken bond had grown stronger between us, as if we had unlocked a new level of closeness that went beyond physical intimacy. We had shared something vulnerable and daring, and it deepened our connection. Occasionally, I'd catch him looking at me with the same mischievous smile he'd worn that night, and it made my heart race all over again. We didn't feel the need to talk about it. The experience had spoken for itself. Yet I couldn't help but wonder, was this something we would revisit? Would it become a regular part of our lives, or was it a one-time experience? To my surprise, I realized I wasn't afraid of the answer. In fact, the idea of exploring further with him excited me. My husband had always been attentive to my needs, and this experience proved that our love could evolve in ways I'd never imagined. It wasn't just about physical pleasure. It was about trust, about giving each other the freedom to enjoy new experiences, knowing our foundation was strong enough to support it. One evening, as we sat together watching a movie, he casually brought it up. "You know, I've been thinking about that night," he said, glancing at me thoughtfully. "How did you really feel about it?" I smiled, appreciating how much he valued my feelings. Honestly, it was amazing. I never thought I'd feel comfortable with something like that, but with you, it felt natural, safe. He nodded, taking my hand in his. "I'm glad to hear that. Seeing you like that, so free and confident, it made me love you even more, if that's possible." His words warmed my heart. "Do you think it's something we'd do again?" I asked softly, my curiosity piqued. He shrugged lightly. "Only if it's something you want. I'd never pressure you into anything, but if you enjoyed it as much as I did, I'd be open to exploring more together." His openness was one of the things I cherished most about him. It wasn't just about fulfilling fantasies. It was about strengthening our connection and ensuring we both felt understood, valued, and seen. Over the following weeks, we had more conversations about our desires, boundaries, and the possibilities for our future. It was exciting to discuss these things, knowing we could continue growing together in ways that kept our relationship alive and vibrant. These talks weren't just about passion. They were about trust, communication, and the unwavering commitment to each other that defined our love. We never hesitated to push boundaries, but we always ensured it was done with respect for each other's feelings and comfort. One evening, after a long dinner with friends, we found ourselves discussing the idea of inviting another person into our intimate life once more. 12:04. This time, however, we approached it with greater intention. We wanted to ensure that anyone we welcomed into our relationship fully understood the dynamics between us, respected the boundaries we had established, and enhanced the experience for both of us. It wasn't about simply adding someone for the sake of it. It was about deepening the love and trust that already defined our bond. We both agreed that the right person needed to share our values and recognize the depth of our connection. This wasn't solely about physical intimacy, but about an experience that could strengthen the foundation of our relationship. As we embarked on this new chapter, we proceeded with care. We explored not only new experiences with others, but also deepened our connection with each other. The threesome had opened a door for us, but it wasn't the central focus of our relationship. It became one piece of a larger puzzle, one that reminded us of the trust, communication, and shared willingness to embrace new experiences that defined our love. Each time we tried something new, it felt like rediscovering one another. The excitement, the closeness, and the joy of exploration made me fall even more in love with him. He wasn't just my husband, he was my partner in every sense of the word. Navigating this journey together, hand in hand, gave me a sense of security in our love that was deeper than ever before. As time passed, I found myself growing more comfortable with who I was and what I wanted. My husband had always encouraged me to embrace my desires, to be confident in myself, and to trust that he would stand by me no matter what. That night marked a turning point, not just for our relationship, but for me personally. It showed me I could embrace new experiences without losing my sense of self. In the quiet moments after our most passionate nights, as we lay together with his arms wrapped around me, I felt a profound contentment. Our love was stronger, our bond unbreakable. We had tested our limits and emerged more connected than ever before. To me, that was the most beautiful part of it all. The threesome wasn't just an unforgettable experience. It revealed the depths of our relationship. 1436. It wasn't about the act itself, but about the trust and love that made it possible. It was about knowing we could face anything together, exploring new aspects of our relationship without fear or judgment. Ultimately, love drove everything, the kind of love that allowed us to be vulnerable with one another, to share our deepest desires without fear of rejection. It was the kind of love that made every new experience, no matter how unexpected, feel like a natural progression of our journey together. As I sit here reflecting on everything we've shared, I feel a deep sense of gratitude. I'm thankful for my husband, for his unwavering love, and for the incredible connection we've nurtured. We are unafraid to explore new possibilities, but we always do so with the understanding that love lies at the center of everything. No matter what comes our way, we know that love will always guide us. If there's one thing I've learned through it all, it's that love and trust are the cornerstones of any strong relationship. With that foundation, the possibilities are endless. Together, you can grow, explore, and create new experiences, knowing your bond will only strengthen as a result. For anyone considering whether to venture into new experiences with their partner, my advice is simple. Communicate openly, trust each other fully, and always prioritize the love you share. If you do, you may discover that it brings you closer than you ever imagined, forging a connection that's deeper and more enduring than you thought possible.